It's a nursery, food forest, demonstration garden.
Ooh, the Gummy were delicious.
Yeah, and they're good.
Ooh.
Our goal here is to help people grow food and be a little more independent.
How's it growing? Lonny Reid of the Reid Farm showed me so many different plants I had never even heard of.
Lots of stuff. We have only brushed the surface.
Today we're taking a food forest tour in Central Florida, located in climate zone 9B. 9B? Whoa, Stack, that's a bit of a different climate zone than 11A here in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, Bo, temperatures drop a little colder in the wintertime up there. You're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video where Lonny gives us a sneak peek at a really cool aquaponics system he's building. It's a closed-loop setup that cycles nutrients without using chemicals like your typical hydroponics system. And it's a two-parter. Exactly. This episode features Lonny's food forest tour, and part 2 will be my sit-down chat with him. But let's jump right into that tour. Now, where were we?
You have reached your destination.
Here we are at the Reid Farm.
There you go. Good boy. Good boy. What's happening? I'm Lonny Reid, and I own this crazy place, the Reid Farm. If it's producing food, producing medicine, producing shade, producing biomass, any of those things, it has to be functional or it can't be here. Our goal here is kind of like, it's not how it started, but now it's to help people grow food and get off the system and be a little more independent and not have to worry so much about where's my food coming from and is it safe and is it sprayed and is it, poison. There's a bunch of varieties of this. This is commonly sold as the insulin plant.
Gosh.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
I could pick, if I stripped the entire thing of all the little lateral flowers, all these little guys, by tomorrow I'll have a whole nother batch.
That is delicious.
Did notice this one popping up in here. This is Costus pictus, which is also commonly sold as the insulin plant. Try that one. That one's delicious.
Why do they call it the insulin plant?
It's supposed to control insulin levels. This is not truly the plant, though, which is funny because both of these are sold as at all time. The actual insulin plant is Costus cuspidatus, and it's a much smaller stature. It is a spiral ginger. It does have that for small too, but it's like this. It's this little tiny thing. I've got some over there that kind of landed here by accident.
That is so good.
This is my salad bucket. A bunch of holes drilled in it. I need to get a couple in the bottom. Thought I had them all, but it works really nice to throw stuff in, and I can just blast the hose in here and get my initial wash. What's up, child? My boy. Let's hit the start right here.
One of my favorites.
Cranberry, hibiscus. It's always here for me. One of my best friends. Always here for me. I go with about 20 leaves for each variety. I can pick an astronomical amount of food out here, and then we can't possibly eat it before it goes bad because there's so much here. My buddy Tyler lives around the corner, and his place is rolling pretty good now, so he doesn't need to come here anymore. But for a while, he was coming and getting salads. And he's like, I feel bad coming in and taking all your food. I said, all my food? You're silly. So when you harvest, it makes it grow more. The plants are healthy and happy and they want to grow more.
And this is so delicious.
Oh, amazing. I've got a couple other varieties I'll show you. Have you eaten the other ones? The other edible hibiscuses?
I don't think I have.
So here's another one of my hibiscuses. Hibiscus calophyllus. Let's taste that one in response to cranberry hibiscus. Nearly the same plant.
Really similar taste.
Yeah, almost identical. Just green. A little more aggressive of a grower, which I'm really liking. The seeds of cranberry hibiscus do not seem to be overly fertile. They are, you can get them to go. I don't put a whole lot of stock into cranberry. I just kind of let it do what it's gonna do naturally. These are all reseeded. These are all reseeded all the way down here. all started from one single plant that I put here about 3 years ago. That they grow up. There's one actually back there. That's like one of last year's. Most of the seeds have flicked out of there at this point, and they're all over here. So there's babies constantly germinating. Every time it rains, we germinate a bunch more babies. It's got a soft yellow flower. Very, very delicate, real pretty. In the fall, when this blooms out, because these will get really big, they'll get up to about 6-8 foot tall. And they bloom out with hundreds of flowers. And it's like one of those things that come out in the morning, and I stand here for a few minutes and I just take it in, because it's a sight. It's like a postcard. It's gorgeous. So there's this one, and there's another one called Radiatus. This is the one with the gorgeous purple flowers. This one tastes just like the other hibiscuses, the cranberry and the calophyllus. And when they got that sourness to them, you know, there's vitamin C there. This is Biden's alba.
Oh, yes.
This is medicine. Aside from it just being edible food, you know, there's medicinal value here, antibacterial, antifungal, all kinds of stuff. When we raise rabbits, we grow a lot of stuff for the rabbits. When I go and throw Bidens in their cages, they will bypass almost anything I throw in there to get to the Bidens. Kale, collard, Swiss chard, any of the good stuff that you think, oh, that's the stuff they probably want. Bidens every time. So I like the tips. I like to just go up right to the top of these and just bunch up the top, eliminate stems, try and just get leaves. It's the most tender, it's the freshest, it's usually in the best shape. So here's another, this is great stuff. Nopali, this is spineless Nopali. I love these young pads in salads. These are just yummy. There's bite marks. That's a bite mark. They're all bite marks of me walking by and just taking it. Fully spineless. These little pads are delicious. No thorns.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so good.
I didn't know. Oh my gosh. That was really good.
You can cook them. A buddy of mine, Mexican kid I knew, I used to coach him. He told me when we were out here one day, and he's like, steaks. My mom used to pull these inside and grill them, and we call them steaks. And I hear a lot of Mexicans use them. They're just common in their diet. They usually use the one with the spines though, and they have to cut them all off. This one just happens to be spineless. The young growth, I mean, it's tangy, it's delicious. Here's some sweet potato, like the young growth. Unsweet potato, just the leaves. Young leaves are good, really quite good for you. These sweet potatoes that are all here, in a couple of months, they'll be gone. The deer come through and eat them. They'll eat the leaves, they'll eat the tops off. They usually eat the young growth first, and then they work their way back. The animals they know way better than we do. So whatever the deer are gonna eat, if I can possibly eat it, I'm probably gonna eat it, because that's where the high nutrient is. That's where the good stuff is. So they're always in here. There's always deer in here. There's always squirrels in here. That's a Tindora. It's a little, that's a baby one. That's gonna be real crunchy and crispy, really nice, like a cucumber. But this is a bug-free cucumber option. I've got a much better vine in the backyard, probably has more fruit on it.
That's good.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they? Because it climbs all the way up in this oak. It's getting up on 40 foot up there. So all the fruits are way up. I got to cut this vine down and, you know, kind of lower it and get the fruits down here. But the one that's back there, it's low, so all the fruits are right harvestable. This is my neighbor's property, but he's kind of like subcontracted it to me.
Okay.
Like, go ahead and do whatever you want up there, because I don't know what to do with it. You can actually see the results of too much ash and too much biochar. This is a fairly good example of what too much ash and biochar will do to the ground. You can't really grow anything. Even cassava is struggling. I'm gonna guess the alkalinity here is just off the charts. Nothing
Too high.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yep.
So a few things, you know, the cassava's tough, but
I've heard about too much ash raising the pH.
Yeah, super bad. So, and the biochar too. This is all charcoal, and it's just this big sponge. It's basic carbon structure, so it's like open holes just waiting to soak stuff up. And it's a great air cleaner, water cleaner. That's why they use it as such a good, you know, your stomach gets upset, you eat some charcoal, and it sucks up all the goop. But it also sucks up nutrients. I'm sure it's cool for, in some way in the garden, I just haven't found it yet. It stays in the soil and it brings carbon back to the ground, but it seems like it zaps the nutrients and keeps it away from the plant rather than giving it to you. My buddy Hunter over in Auburndale, he was talking to me about biochar one day, and he goes, hey, have you done anything with biochar? I said, yeah, I've made some, and we've tried inoculating and stuff, and I haven't really had a whole lot of success with it. And he's like, well, I made some, and I didn't inoculate it at all, and I put it on one of my fruit trees, and the tree turned white. It ate up every bit of nitrogen that the thing had. So we're still working on what to do with biochar. This is a great overlooked berry for the area. This is Patomba.
Never heard of it.
This one's delicious. I might have a ripe fruit. I think there might be some inside that you could taste, but this one has not fruited yet. So this is its first season. So it kind of went a little late because the other ones are already done. That one's got some fruit. That's set late. Oh, here's another unknown that people are missing the boat on not eating this one. Have you seen this plant?
I don't think so.
This is Barbados gooseberry. Barbados gooseberry is another cactus. It's called Pereschia aculeata. It's the botanical name. 30% protein right there in the leaf. And that's, the flavor's almost nothing. Texture is really nice. Makes a really nice berry later in the year. It has thorns, so pull downward when you're harvesting so you don't get caught. Now always pull towards the base of the plant. They always face down. So as long as you pull down, you can slide your hand along the branches as long as you're going this way. But you go the other way, oh, it's no fun. This is an aggressive plant. Like real aggressive. I need to get in. I already pruned it down. I want to keep all the growth upright this year because it sprawls and wanders. So I'm really going to try and keep it upright so I can concentrate all the berries where I want them. The berries are really nice. They're tangy. They're zippy. It's just a nice thing to eat. That'll be later in the season. This right here, Callaloo amaranth. I use the young leaves, the small, tender stuff. This is an amazing spinach substitute. Very popular in Jamaican cooking. In fact, I had this Jamaican guy contact me a couple weeks ago. I expect to hear from him again. He was talking about me growing a lot of it for him and getting it into stores and restaurants. So hopefully that'll happen. But this is a great plant. It's got good texture, good flavor. Reseeds itself vigorously. There's some dwarf pomegranates. Those seem to struggle to really get going and get anything done. I've got a nice variety of pomegranate right back here called Vietnamese red, and it's got fruit all over it, and it's continually setting fruit, and they keep flowering. This tree seems to like flower and flower and flower until it's satisfied with how many fruit it's holding. I've really enjoyed growing this variety. Ever since I put it in the ground, it's been just nothing but success, nothing but constant fruit. All summer I'll get fruit. This one will be ready to pick in probably a month. She's got to fatten up a little bit more, but they'll finish out, like a good sized pomegranate. There's another nice fat one.
Nice.
Progression of size is just like it's all over this plant because they never stop flowering until the plant is fully satisfied with what it's holding. About 2 weeks ago, it had just blooms, orange blooms. Just the whole thing was covered. It was gorgeous. The blooms are just,
that's pretty.
They're so pretty. When this plant really gets going, it's just it's a showpiece. So I have a couple other varieties that I'm working on. I have hundreds of these plants. But I do really, really well with pomegranate. And a lot of people struggle with that one. It's just varietal selection.
Yep.
Let's see if we got any cecropia here. Oh, I do. Have you ever eaten a cecropia?
That's the gummy worm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a few of these trees here. And so far, haven't froze it. Slide them off. This is a little slice of heaven right here. They're so nice.
Be honest.
It's a weird thing. People are all freaked out about it, but then they taste it and they go, oh my God, what is that?
Like candy.
Yeah, really delicious.
I had that reaction when I give a garden tour and people taste cranberry hibiscus for the first time. They don't expect that burst of flavor.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of things out here that they don't expect the burst of flavor on. A ton of stuff. You want to taste some yummies? I got a couple of fruits.
You've never tried it before?
No, I've never tried it before. I heard about it.
That's Cecropia.
Ooh,
The gummy worm.
delicious.
Yeah, isn't it good?
Ooh, my.
Like a fig. Almost like an inside-out fig.
Damn. Oh, that's delicious.
So good. Yeah, so sweet. Those are perfect too.
Oh my.
Little but perfect.
Delicious.
So this is another one that lights people's taste buds up. These fall off the plant. Have you eaten that?
No.
Patangatuba. It's a bag of juice, and it's sour. It's an explosion of flavor.
Citrusy.
Yeah. The rats are vicious. My job at Guavas. I can get like a good crop, but if there's only like a few and I don't get them, the rats come through and just smash them. I'm less attached to them now that I have hundreds of seedlings, so I don't worry about it as much as I used to. There's a big job at Guava. Gave me a huge crop this year. It's a Sabra that I got a few years ago and got that in the ground. That's given me some really, really great fruit. I have a lot of Jabba. I think I've got 20 varieties. These are all those colored carrots, kaleidoscope carrots. Planted super, super late, so I didn't really expect a whole lot out of this patch. But anything I can get is better than nothing. This was nothing but rabbit manure and mulch. Nothing else has ever hit this area. When I planted it, I actually did a video on here. I spread the rabbit manure after I had everything turned. I came through and I dropped by hand, which was a mess. But I dropped it all on the rows, and then I ran all the seeds out with my other seed. Torpedo grass came in and completely infested this bed, so I need to get through here and get all the garlic chive plants out and start them again somewhere else. Have you had these?
No.
Garlic chives. Delicious. They pop right off the rhizome, but the rhizome stays in the ground. Very easy plant to deal with. Right into the salad. I try not to throw anything that had dirt on it in the salad bucket, so I usually do that pick later.
It's got a little kick to it.
Yeah, it's really, really nice stuff. I saw a video of a dude, I think he was in Thailand or something. He was pulling these and fermenting them and making like a sauerkraut almost out of garlic chives. It puts such a nice flavor into every salad. Longevity spinach.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, we all know the longevity. When we started, we had all these really nice gardens in the winter. Lettuces and, oh look, a lot of our garden friends. They're usually pretty cool. They don't run from us too much. Have you had these?
No.
Lemon Cattleya Guava. These things are so good. Yeah, so good. There she goes. Look at that. See that little bud right there?
Oh.
This is a macro propagation of praying hands bananas. Everyone bugging me for my praying hands bananas. There's another one right there.
Yep.
I learned this message from Jay Reynolds. Oh, look at that. There she is. I'm going to pull that one off.
Nice.
I pulled that. It's a couple minutes. Once they do that, yeah, I got two actually coming out there. You show me you take those corms out of the ground. If they're maiden, you got to core them out, which is why there's a big hole in the center of them to kill the maiden. You know, that growth, that apical dominance of that center high growth wanting to come up. And then you push all the side buds out. That's where I can get lots of plants off of them and harvest them and get them in pots. Everyone wants spraying hands. All these big giant ones, and the fruits are fantastic. Here's bush. Have you seen ginberries?
No. You have a lot of things I've never heard of.
Lots of stuff. We have only brushed the surface. There's so much stuff here. So this is ginberry. There's a seed inside there, but they really have a nice flavor. Also called orange berry. Nice little flavor, right? Cool little berries. Really a lot more fruit on it right now. There's only a little bit, but it reflowers and reflowers and reflowers. This is one of the trees that I have my wheel bugs on. When I have a whole lot of fruit, the wheel bugs will sit right behind the cluster of fruit and wait for some sort of predator to come in. and try and milk fruit, and then they just sit there like hide under a leaf. I'm surprised I can't see one, but there's not a whole lot of fruit on it right now. Usually it's like clusters of pink berries all over it. But this has been a champion. No cold issues ever. It just pounds through everything and just keeps making berries. We eat berries constantly off this. And grab a green papaya, and I always milk them out. Just run my fingernail down so they're squirting.
Why do you do that?
Get the latex out. Sometimes you poke a hole and it literally just sprays. It just makes them not taste quite as bitter, because it's actually the skin on these things super bitter. The leaves are super bitter. You can eat the leaves on papaya. They're just they're putridly bitter. Like, it's rough. It only takes about a minute for it to finish up. You'll see it'll just drain out. But this is kind of a small fruit. I'll usually get a much bigger one.
You have a motto, or I know you have a philosophy behind what you're doing here.
Yeah, just live with the land. You know, let the land feed me. Let the land teach me what to do, what to eat, what's going to thrive here. If something thrives here, rather than looking at it as a problem, I look at it as what is its usefulness. So many people think about invasive and worrying about that, and I don't work that way. We grow a lot of plants that some people consider invasive, and we eat them pretty regularly.
Yeah.
They're aggressive. They're useful. They're prolific.
They're carefree.
Yeah. So you said choose your words. Is it invasive or is it prolific? This is black raspberry in the springtime, and then Tindora's in the summertime. And they just completely overtake it. That's a fully ripe Tindora when it's soft and a little sweet. If you say Tindora to an Indian person, they know what's up. They know what you're talking about. If you look up Indian recipes, nearly half of them have Tindora in them. And this plant is native to southern India. So, and it likes the heat. It loves it brutally hot. It doesn't deal well with the cold. It won't survive. It won't fruit if there's not enough sun on it. Got a little bit of this Suriname spinach. This one's always here for us.
Yeah, me too.
Seeds itself. It's like a jewel of Opar.
Yes.
Relative.
Oh, I thought it was, okay.
No, the jewel of Opar has a little bit different shaped leaf. It's really similar. The flowers are tiny bit different, but the seeds on jewel are little round ones, and these just pop open little tiny black things.
I definitely see the resemblance.
Yeah, real similar. Here's some more of that chive that we put in here, looking a little better. You want to talk about a heart-healthy thing to eat?
Are those hot?
Yeah.
I can't do spicy hot.
No?
No.
I can't not.
Okay.
I have to have it. I have to have it. Here's another great one. This is called cherry-pita. Ahi cherry-pita. Little hot peppers. Citrusy and just absolutely wonderful. Some of my faves. Italian honey fig. Hiding up in here.
What is this?
Katuk.
The leaves on that are bigger than mine.
Do you have that variety? This is the runner variety. Send little root runners out all over.
Okay. So I didn't know there was a non-runner variety.
Yeah, this is a stationary. This will not send runners out. Bigger leaf, bigger berries. So when that one flowers, you'll see like white and green, a little yellow and green. This one has some red in it.
Okay.
It's a distinct difference. You'll notice it. But the flavor is the same. Usefulness is the same. 49% protein. How do you go wrong? Full of nutrition. This goes into nearly everything I eat. If I can put green stuff on it, it's going to be katuk. Katuk and hibiscus. That's summertime food. Me and Jax made tacos last night. Came and got a bunch of katuk, smashed it on top of the tacos. There he is. Hey. What's up, man? Get some katuk.
Hey, Dax, what's your favorite thing to eat out here?
Probably the black raspberry.
Yeah, he's a freak for those black raspberries. We'll be out here. They started around March, right? I think right in March. You get like March, April, and a kiss of May. But it's heavy, like constant. Yeah, constant production. It's great. Here's a cool plant that people need to know more about. This is finger lime. This is the giant The fruits are not long and skinny on this one. They're fat. These are not quite where they would need to be, but I mean, they're edible kind of whenever, but these will get like that. Like,
do you eat the skin too? Or
no, just squeeze out the goo. Have you had these?
No.
Oh, these are so cool. After a miracle fruit, these are like one of the best
Oh, I bet.
I ever have. So you crack them open and then you just squeeze it.
Okay.
And the capsules just kind of like, they just boil out of it. There's no pith like in a regular lime.
Huh.
It just all shakes right out of there. There's nothing there. It doesn't really seem to matter what size they are.
Right.
It's always good. They're good when they're this big. They're good when they're this big. They turn yellow when they're fully ripe, just like everything.
That was really good.
Yeah, they're just on top of any food. Anything you're gonna make. You make a sandwich, squeeze some finger limes on it. You make a taco, squeeze some finger limes on it. Make guacamole, squeeze in a couple of these things and mix it all in there. The texture and the pop and the little lime flavor.
And it doesn't seem to be greening.
Zero disease.
No disease.
Zero disease.
Good.
I have never even watered this plant.
Wow.
It's been here probably 7 years. And I'm still waiting for someone to show me a bigger one. I haven't seen one. I haven't heard of one. This one's probably about, what do you think, 12 feet tall? 12, 13 foot. The trunk is about 4 inches thick. I want to see a bigger specimen. I haven't seen one in Florida yet. And I've got some buddies that are, pretty in the know of what's around. So please, if you have another finger lime that's bigger, let me know.
Yeah.
Let's compare notes. I want to know about it.
So Lonny is building a really cool aquaponics system. Yeah, and how is aquaponics different from hydroponics again? Great question, Bo, and I'm gonna let Lonny explain that one.
It's a really fun system to be able to have just water going in and food ripping out of it. The aquaponics are so cool with no chemicals. I'm not into hydroponic because it's a fully chemical synthetic system, and there's some issues with it that I've done some research on it, and I don't want to eat it. I don't want to take the risk of potentially eating something that's not so good for my body. So this is the beginning of the aquaponic system. We just got it moved back here. I had it in the boat up front, and it was so much stuff was falling in it. I tried to shade cloth over top and keep leaves off, and just branches came through it, and it ended up just filling it. So it needed to be completely out of the elements, so there was no leaves falling in it. I need this water clean. You see the water is about as clean as you could ever get it. But this is such nutrient-rich water right now. One of these days, get in here and we're going to get these pipes set up out here in the sun. That's the tricky part with this aquaponics, is you can't have that in the sun because it'll just grow algae and just bump up the whole system. But then you got to have your growth area in the sun so it gets some sun and feeds everything. So this is my NFT. I've run like every kind of aquaponics system you can put together, and this seems to be the easiest, most successful, best growth rate and all that. So I'll set this up on a rack where it's kind of tapered down, and I'll pump the water from right here, and we'll just bring it up, and it trickles its way down through the pipes. Red Solo cups fit right in here in the 3-inch hole. So it'll sit kind of like that. And I use a soldering iron in the bottom of the Red Solo cups and just poke some holes, and then use the clay pellets. Pop them in there and just drop seeds right into the clay pellets, and there's enough humidity that germinates the seeds, and up they go. It's a way to use the fish to grow some food for us. I can grow food for the rabbits. I could actually take the rabbit manure and feed it to the fish since it's so nutrient rich. I did that with the tilapia for a while, and they were very happy actually. They grew really well. But then the cold comes and it gets below 40 degrees and the tilapia just crash. So I'm sick of killing fish, so I just went with something that was cold and was just gonna, like the tower garden's a really cool idea. It's right here, I have it, but it's not working because I don't trust it. I don't trust the system. So I'm gonna somehow work that into this system and get some water pumping into that and basically run the same thing.
If you garden in Florida, you know the struggle with certain insects. In part 2, Lonny is going to share what he's found to be the most effective and sustainable way to handle what most of us call pests.
I was real sick about 12 years ago.
Plus, we're going to dig into his departure from the conventional food system. You ready, Bo? Live regeneratively and let's grow together.